This is Valley News Live at 6.
We've got a pattern going here. Lots of heat and humidity again today, and that might just stir up some storms in parts of the region. Let's find out what's happening this evening with Nathan in our First Alert forecast. Hey, Nathan.
Yeah, Andrea, that heat and humidity continuing for us for this evening. Still seeing 80s and 90s across the board with 89 in Fargo now, a little bit cooler than it was about an hour ago, still holding on to 91 in Grand Forks. So again, if you are stepping out to the Red Hawks home opener tonight, 7:02, first pitch, it's going to be hot. It'll be sunny and it will be humid as well. Here's the heat indices across the board, seeing it feels like 92 degrees in Fargo, feels like 94 in Grand Forks. It still feels like 100 degrees up in Roseau. And so we're seeing a lot of those 90-degree feels-like temperatures out there for this evening. We did have one little shower that popped up near the Bagley area, just south and west of Bagley, but you can see right there, it went from nothing to a little thunder shower pretty quickly. It has weakened a little bit in the past 15 minutes or so, but that's the same pattern we'll be looking at for tonight, mainly in the Northern Valley. You could see a pop-up shower or storm developing, but they look to be isolated in nature as we go through this evening. Staying quiet for pretty much everybody else, as we can see on the hourly forecast in Fargo. Cooling only into those 80s and 70s as we go toward the midnight hour, with perhaps a few clouds there later on this evening. Sunset around 9:25 this evening, and then in Grand Forks, cooling a little bit better into those mid to lower 70s as we head toward the midnight hour. Again, a few clouds out there. But Andrea, we're tracking the chance of some showers and storms for the holiday weekend. And of course, we'll break that down in detail coming up in a couple minutes.
All right, thanks, Nathan. A plant in Grand Forks where 900 employees work is still under federal investigation for a coronavirus outbreak. Valley News Team's Joshua Pagero found past inspections for LM Wind Power and also learned that federal inspectors had health concerns back in 2018 after an employee died. Here's his investigative report.
The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, is looking into how 145 LM Power employees tested positive for COVID-19 in March and April. While that investigation remains open, past OSHA investigations reveal LM Wind Power has had trouble for, quote, respiratory hazards. A December of 2018 report urged LM to do medical evaluations on employees after a 30-year-old man died at the plant as he was hand sanding.
And then just try to go over it. Just try to go.
Do these guys wear, are they included in any kind of respiratory protection program or anything like that?
Yeah, they go through the whole thing. They get he's gone through a medical questionnaire.
The main point LM Wind Power wanted to address with me is that the employee's death in 2018 was not work-related, and what OSHA issued was not a citation but guidance. Federal investigators interviewed the safety manager.
Said that he was feeling chest pain, and he felt like his lung had collapsed.
Yeah.
Well, then we sent him to the nurse, right? Because we got a nurse on site, but he never went to the nurse. He never went to go see the nurse.
Although it was concluded that employee died of natural causes, OSHA urged plant leadership to perform medical tests before fitting employees with respirators. In May of that year, the company paid more than $9,000 in fines. OSHA investigators found sharp objects that could lead to amputations. In 2010, LM Wind Power was fined nearly $100,000 after an employee died on site. In a statement, GE, which owns LM Wind Power, says the plant has been taking precautions since reopening in mid-May, following the shutdown due to a coronavirus outbreak. In Grand Forks, Joshua Pagero, Valley News Live.
We reached out to the city of Grand Forks for comment, and they say they rely on the federal government to police LM Wind Power. The plant says before reopening, employees were required to do on-site training on new safety protocols. As for its past issues, LM Wind Power says it has corrected those. One man is now in jail after police found him passed out with drugs and a weapon in his car. It happened this morning when officers were walking through the parking lot of the Empire. They say 40-year-old Justin Lee Bruce passed out behind the wheel of a vehicle. Officers found marijuana in the ashtray and a knife in the center console. They say Bruce struggled briefly when they tried to remove him from the vehicle, but finally got him handcuffed. Bruce faces charges of preventing arrest and possession of marijuana and meth paraphernalia. A standoff in Hastings, Minnesota is over after more than 12 hours. Police were trying to negotiate with a man barricaded inside a home with two children. It started yesterday morning after a fight between the suspect and a tow truck driver outside the home. The standoff ended around 2:30 this morning. A man was seen being loaded into an ambulance, and at least one child was carried off by an officer. A 17-year-old girl was taken to a hospital, and a part of I-94 was shut down earlier today to clean up a crash. Police shut down the eastbound lanes of I-94 west of the metro by the way station around 2 this morning after the driver of a pickup ran into the back of another vehicle. The teenager, we're told, is expected to be okay. Everyone involved in the crash is from out of state. AAA predicts Americans will take roughly 700 million trips this holiday weekend through the end of summer. As Kate Raditz shares, state tourism officials are asking residents to explore local.
There's time for adventure, there's people.
Explore Minnesota released a new recovery tourism campaign that highlights what the state has to offer.
Traditionally, in a normal year, we would spend the majority of our dollars trying to attract non-residents.
This year, the majority of Americans plan to travel by car due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Explore Minnesota Director John Edmonds says they are appealing to Minnesota residents to explore safely in-state and support the local economy.
They include things like road trips, exploring the many scenic byways throughout the state of Minnesota, doing some outdoor dining, visiting doing an overnight in a houseboat.
Minnesota has lost an estimated $3.2 billion in travel spending through mid-June. Grandview Lodge in Nisswa has lost out on millions from canceled weddings and events, but has seen a massive surge in business as Minnesota's economy reopens.
People who were going to go to Europe said, all right, I'm going to stay close to home. Other people said, I've heard about Grandview. I've never been there before.
Grandview has spent around $100,000 on new safety measures, including extra cleaning, special sanitizing spray, masks for all employees, and hand sanitizer for guests.
While Explore Minnesota is primarily targeting in-state residents, they're also running ads in Wisconsin, North and South Dakota, and Iowa.
Explore Minnesota's director said convention centers, hotels, and restaurants have felt the biggest impact within the tourism industry. In Minnesota, the state health department is reporting 423 new cases of COVID-19, along with 8 more deaths linked to the virus. Officials say this now brings the death toll in the state to 1,466. 1,150 of those deaths happened in a long-term care facility. The active case count in the state now sits at 3,811. Over 32,000 people are recovered. Meanwhile, North Dakota is reporting 65 new cases of COVID-19. The death toll in the state still sits at 80. There are currently 20 patients hospitalized with COVID-19, while over 3,200 people are listed as recovered. There are 376 active cases in the state. We have a correction on a story we ran yesterday. The city of Fargo will begin its phase 2 of reopening on Monday, July 13th. That includes all City Hall department reception doors being open to the public. The City Commission chambers will increase its capacity to 125 people. Public meetings will be in person, but will also be virtual. Matt Bus will operate fare-free through December 31st, and Fargo Public Library locations will open to the public. Later on Valley News Live at 6, a new baby boom could be arriving in 9 months. We'll hear what doctors are saying and one family's miracle.
And to look at the almanac for today in Fargo, 91, that high temperature. That's 4 degrees shy of a record set back in 1947, 10 degrees above average for this time of year. In Grand Forks, we were just 2 degrees shy of that record set back in 1959, also 11 degrees above average. Same can be said for our friends in Jamestown, nearly record. More hot weather.